Okay, we've been getting a ton of PMs and emails asking about DD Amanda, so I thought I would make this video to explain it in more detail. And this is the main screen. Now, I know this looks complicated and very complex, but it's really not, okay? Over on the right side here, where all these numbers are, this is 200 days worth of trading data, okay? You can go all the way back 200 days here. In the middle you have a little mini chart. You have some other values and indicators here. You also have a quick notes area where you can keep notes. Okay. Then over here we have the scanner in gray, and on the far left we have due diligence buttons that you just push. And at the bottom here, every stock has a notes section that keeps track of different stuff. So we're going to go and investigate all these areas in detail and explain them. Okay, this here is the 200-day trading data. You have your date. Mondays are in blue, so you know what day Monday is. Then you have your dollars traded column right here. This is the actual dollars traded. Then you have your closing price and something called a factor, which is proprietary indicator of DD Amanda. And what it does is it keeps track of how many, like here's a 10 factor, okay? So what that means is that on that day she traded 10 times the dollars that she normally trades, and that's a 20-day average. Then you have your actual volume column here, the low of the day column, the high, the open, and the up column is if she went up, there'll be a number in here, like here she went up 2%, 1%, 4%. And if she went down, there'll be a number in this column, the down column, like here she went down 10%. Then we have a volatility column, and this is basically just the difference between the high and the low on a particular day. Okay, and then this column is your social media column. This indicates how popular a stock is. So you can see that this is TONR. This way down here she was at 0 social media. Then she went to 41. The values are from 1 to 50, 1 being the top. Then she dropped to, rose to 28, went back to 0, went back up to 38, 41, 34. Then really climbed up on social media. She got to 9 here. And right now she's at 5, 6, and 8 on these days here. So she's getting more popular. And then the last column is your drag ratio. That again is a proprietary indicator of DD Amanda, and we'll go into the explanation on what that is. Now you also have the 200 days highs and lows indicated in bold. Like here is a 200-day low at trip 5. Here's another 200 intraday low of trip 4. Now you can scan for these, okay? And the high, here's your 200-day high. Like here's your 200-day high dollars traded, 2.6 million on January 14th. And 0.059 is a 200-day high price-wise. And here you have an intraday 200-day high of 0.65 or 0065. So those are all the other data points that you have in here, which is really cool. And you also have 100-day highs, like here she's at 0023. That's a 100-day high on the price. And also right here you got a 100-day high of dollars traded at 850,000. And here's another one intraday at 0027. So you've got those also. Sometimes these will be overridden by the 200-day high, but in this case the 200 is so low that the 100-day comes into play. Okay, let's talk about this area in the middle. Right here you have a little mini chart. This is a 30-day chart. And what's cool about this chart is on your volume bars, blue is buys and red is sells, and green is the little tweeners. So you can tell at a glance whether people are actually, selling or buying. Like way back here, there was all sells. And anyway, you can tell by the volume bar what most of the trading was. If you click on it, it'll change to a 90-day chart. Okay. If you click on it again, it'll give you an intraday, what's happening like right now. And so it's kind of cool. It'll just cycle through these three different types just by clicking on it. This is $1 Million Traded. I'm not going to go into that. It's a little bit complex. However, there are a couple of nice data points in here. Right here you have your 10-day dollars traded in thousands. So in the last 10 days she's traded $84,000 here. And you also have your 20-day average dollars traded, which in thousands, which in this case is $6,000 a day. But let's talk about drag. Now drag is a proprietary indicator of DD Amanda that measures resistance to price movement. And it's based on the dollars traded. Like if just a few dollars traded makes a stock move up 20% or something, then there would be a very low drag, okay? Because like I said, that this measures resistance to price movement, and there's an up drag and a down drag. Like if you had a very high value here on the down drag, it would be really hard for the stock to go down. In other words, if it traded $100,000 and it only moved down 1%, then this drag would be really high, because there's a lot of resistance to her going down. I mean, 100 grand only moved her down 1%. So this is the last 5 days. So on this one, she had a 27 up drag. She moved up 2%. Here she only moved up 1%, so you have a 111 drag. Then 16, and then here on this day she moved down 10%, and she has a 2.2 drag going down. So the drag ratio is the ratio between the down drag and the up drag. It kind of gives you an overall picture of which way this stock is having resistance to moving. Okay, like right here, the drag ratio is red and it's 0.08, which means that it's a lot easier for her to move down than up. Okay, and the way this is calculated is it divides the latest down drag here, which is 2.2. It divides that by the latest up drag, which is 27. So if you divide 2.2 by 27, you get 0.08. So if they're both the same, of course, this would be 1. Ideally, you want this to be green and you want it to have a value above 1, okay? Which would mean that it's a lot easier for her to move up than down. But right now, I mean, this changes all the time. But right now on this day, it's easier for her to, it's harder for her to go up than to go down. Then we have channel days here. If she's in a channel and trading sideways, this will tell you the number of days that's going on. Oh, and by the way, you can, all these parameters you can put in the scanner to select by these things, okay? So like you can, here's your RSI the last 5 days. This is Williams. I don't know how many guys use that. So, yesterday or the day this update happened, the RSI was 55. But you can put 55 or 20 or 80 in your scanner as an RSI and decide whether you want to look at stocks that have this kind of an RSI or above or below. Then we have a social media popularity type indicator. This comes off of Investors Hub, and it's based on most read on the number of reads. And here's your breakout boards. Now this here is in real time, okay? This is in real time all the time because we check it whenever you bring up a stock, it'll tell you what these values are and what the change was. Here you have your MACD. Like right now, the MACD is 149% above the signal. it's moving at 97 mph, which is I just made that up, the miles per hour, but it gives you an idea of how fast the MACD is moving in each direction. The direction right now is up. She's moving up. There hasn't been a turn, and there hasn't been a cross. That happened a while back. And then you have your golden X, which is your 200 MA and your 50 MA. Right now the 50 MA is below the 200, which what it says here. It's moving up. The direction is up. This is the difference between the two, and this is the rate at which it's closing. Right now it's pretty slow. So the 50 MA is slowly moving up to the 200 is what this tells you. And because we calculate the speed and the distance, we can predict golden crosses, okay? And you can also scan for that. I hope that's clear. Then you have your announcement and updates. That's pretty self-explanatory. And here we have a quick notes. It's a little text area that you can keep notes in. For instance, like I can delete this. You can copy and paste out of this, and to update it, once you've changed it, just click outside, like right there. Now it's updated. So when I reload the page, it's gone. You can't really tell, but anyway. So let's say I have a note on this stock, or on some stock. I'm doing my scans. What you can do is do a space, D space, and then check out TORVF, okay? And once you click outside, that it's updated now. So if I reload it, it changes that D to today's date automatically, so you don't have to put it in. It's just real handy. Alright, I hope that covers this area right here. Okay, this is the scanner. Now, at the very top you have a price range, low to high. Now I remember back in the day the most you could do is, scan for less than $5 stocks, which is kind of useless when you're talking about OTC or you want to zero in on a price range. So you have your minimum price and your maximum price. So this is a high percentage up scan. It's for over the counter basically, but you can look at let's look at a Nasdaq. Okay, here's a Nasdaq scan. All these scans are the same, it's just the values change. Like here, we're looking at stocks with a minimum price of $1 and a maximum price of $5, okay? Now you can change these values, like say you wanted to look at from $1 to $2, you just put in a 2 here, and then click outside that little box and it'll update automatically. Now when you first log into DD Amanda, you're going to get scans and settings that I use personally. But if you want to change them, that's fine. Just change the value and click outside. Like if you wanted to look for, only 5 factors, just change that to a 5 and click, and it updates automatically. So that means when you first sign up and log in, you've already got some pretty good scan settings. So you get off to a real quick start with this. You can just start scanning and start finding some good stocks. The next thing we have a range on is the dollars traded, okay? And again, you have at least this many dollars and max this many dollars. Like right now, this is, I believe it's 100,000. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your minimum dollars traded has to be 100,000 or above, okay? And your maximum is, I just maxed this out. So what I do is I go 9, because the field's too small. Anyway, it's 999, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now your maximum dollars traded is $999 million, basically, okay? The next field is our factor. Now this is the proprietary indicator that tells you how many times, how many more times than normal this stock traded. So right now I'm only looking for stocks that traded 15 times what they normally traded. In other words, I'm looking for something that just had some real activity, okay? And if I do a stock list here, I'm going to explain this further. There's 8 stocks that satisfy this criteria. In other words, there's 8 stocks, Nasdaq stock, or stocks in this price range that traded this amount of money, that actually traded 15 times more than they usually traded. Okay, and we'll look at that in a second. Now, this is your RSI. Whether you want to, if you want to limit this by an RSI value. Now, all of these, in fact, all of these fields, everything on DD Manda has a tooltip. Okay. Like if I hover over the factor, it's going to come up with a little tooltip that I think it's right here, that tells you what it is. Okay, you can't see all of this tooltip, but it's anything you hover over for a second, you'll get a tool tip on it. So this is minimum RSI to select on. Now this field, these M fields, I'm not going to go into. You can select by liquidity, okay? Like your 10-day dollar thousands that are traded. You can put a value in here to only select stocks that have a value higher. In other words, only stocks that have traded more than this. If I put 100 in here, it's only gonna give me stocks that traded more than 100,000 in 10 days. Then you have your MACD, the separation and the speed. I'm not going to go into that. You have your golden X, the same thing. Your delta 50, which is your 50 MA, between the 50 MA and the 200. Some others, here we have PPO ADX. This is your pincher plays. If you want to look for stocks that are in a channel, you can put a value in here. If a value is 0 in here, it's totally ignored. You can select by market cap, okay? Let's say you only want to look at stocks with a market cap of, higher or lower, okay, than a certain market cap. You can also select by drag ratio. You can select by the percentage change. You put a percentage in here, and I only want to look at stocks that move more than 10% or 20% or whatever. We have 2 candles right now. We're working on more. So the only 2 we have right now is a hammer and an inverted hammer. So if you put an H in here or an I, it'll look for those and select by those. Social media, media change, volatility. Okay, you're outstanding. Let's say you only want to look at stocks with outstanding of less than whatever you put in here, or a float. You're only looking for stocks with a float less than X, whatever. You can look for MACD turns. You can look for golden crosses. OTC current only. You don't want to look at stops. You don't want to look at red stocks that went red. Chapter 11. And then you have 3 fields here for your watch. You can watch stocks, and once they're watched, you can either look at only watched, or you can include the ones you're watching in a particular scan. Maybe I should have done the scan first, so you know how that works. But anyway, you can look for 200-day lows, 200-day high dollars. You can look for closed at high. You can look for gold, silver stocks. And here, let me scroll down a little bit. Here, you have 35 scans that you can pick from. Okay. And you can change the name, like let's see, there's an open one at the bottom. Basically you just take an existing scan and that's close to what you want, and you can modify it, okay? Like this one's totally open, so I could edit the name of this to new scan. You're not seeing this, it's off screen, but if I reload it, yeah, oh well, I did it right away. Okay, so this is your new scan, okay? I just changed the name of it. So that's just something else you can do. Alright, that's an overview of the scanner. Like I said, once you sign up, you're going to be able to read in detail what all these do. But the tooltip should pretty much let you know what all these are. And you can turn them off if you want. Like I'm going to turn them off now. Once you learn everything, you don't really want to see those anymore. Okay, that's it for the scanner. Okay, this is how the scanner works. Now, most scanners, you scan for something and all they do is give you a list. So then you got to type each one in and, do your due diligence and all that crap. We have a different philosophy. What we do is, like, let's check this, what is it? Test Easy Scan, okay? So, I'm going to go to symbol A, which is the top of the database, and you really can't see that. But I go to symbol A, that's the top of the database. And what I'm going to do is push the next button, okay? And what that does, it'll bring up the first stock that satisfies the criteria up above that we just went over, that satisfies that criteria. And right now, the first stock that satisfied the criteria is AMNL. Again, you can't see that, but that's what you do. Is you look at the AMNL. You do your due diligence. You look at the trading. You decide whether this is worth a further look or not. And then you just push the next button again, and it'll automatically stop at the next stock. Because when you have a list of stocks, you need to look at all of them, right? But what DD Amanda does, it lets you look at them one at a time automatically just by pushing this next button here, okay? Like the next one that satisfied it here, you can't see that, of course, but it's TORVF, okay? And you can just very rapidly go through all the stocks that satisfy the criteria of the scan parameters above. And what you can also do is you can do a stock list, okay? If you push this button, it'll give you a list of stocks that satisfy this these scan parameters, okay? And what's going on? There it is. I guess I didn't push it hard enough. All right, so here is your list of stocks. Remember I said AMNL, COPRF? This is the list of stocks that satisfy this scan. Okay, and it also tells you how many of them there are. There's 7 stocks. Now this is limited to 50 stocks, which is just way too many to look at. But the nice thing you can do here is you can take this field, copy it, and throw it into a watch list, real-time watch list, and then you can watch all of these in real time, like Thinkorswim, Thinkorswim. I don't know where they came up. Thinkorswim just doesn't make any sense. I think it used to be Thinkorsync, and then they changed it, but that makes a lot more sense. So anyway, you can copy paste all these into your Thinkorsync a watch list, and then watch them in real time. Okay. Also, the Prev button goes backwards in data in the database. So she just goes back and forth depending on which button you push. Like a lot of times you'll run a scan and you'll wind up at the end, which is 5 Z's. Okay, and so now you just go backwards. You just go through and you pick a different scan. Let's say you pick a different scan, and now you go backwards through the Prev button. And it makes it pretty fast. Alright, so I think this is the main philosophy of DD Amanda, is that you can go through these stocks that satisfy the scanner, the parameters, and look at them one at a time. Okay, which is what you got to do anyway. Alright, so there you go. Plus you got your stock list. If you change a parameter if you change some parameters in the scanner and you push stock list and you get I don't think we got any on that one. Let me pick a different scan. Oh well, we got 2. Alright, but let's say you change a parameter in the scanner and you get 200 stocks, or more than 50. Well, that's not very useful. Okay, so then you know that you have to change your parameters to kind of tighten it up so you get less stocks to look at. Otherwise it gets crazy. Okay, this is your DD buttons, your due diligence buttons. So let's say we're on a stock. Right now we're on TORVF and we want to look at a stock chart. You just push this button and a pop-up will happen that shows the chart. You can't really see it all, but you get the idea. If you want to look at it's a 30-day chart. If you want to look at a 1-year chart, you push the 1, and now you can see a 1-year chart. Or if you push push a 2 for a 2-year chart. Okay. And let's see what else. We have a summary. Now this takes you to OTC Market. It opens up a page that gives you the summary page on OTC Markets. Okay. So you can get your summary. Then you have, I'm not going to go through all of these. Oh, let's say SEC. Let's see if there's anything on the SEC on this. No, nothing. But if I picked a different stock, let's try, what has SEC filings? Let's see, well, NWBO should probably have some filings. So if I push the SEC button here, okay, so now I'm looking at filings of NWBO, okay? So that opens up a pop-up that you see that right away. News, okay, say you want to look for news, okay? So here we got OTC Markets, and you see the news. You can look at all the news that they have, okay? And what else? You can do a symbol lookup if you just have a name. You can go to OTC Markets and type in a name right here, and it'll find the symbol for you. It'll find the symbol for you. Tier changes. Again, that takes you to OTC Markets, and it shows you all your, your tier changes that happened. What else? Oh, you can go to your Secretaries of State. Okay, this is Nevada, which most stocks are at. Or you can go to all SOS and go to a particular state. Okay, like here they have all the different states. So you can look at that. What else we got? Stock scores. I don't know how many people watch that. You can look at American Bulls. You can check the filings. Okay, again on OTC Markets. You can see all your filings here and the date. What else? Tech. I think this is a tech thing on technical indicators. So it'll take you to that page, and it's already set for the symbol, so it's real fast. CS, this is custodianships. It'll show you every post on iHub that has has the word custodianship in it. Alright, and the same thing for reinstatements. Alright, and then here's your iHub talk. In other words, I want to go back to my baby. I really like her. Okay, so if you push this iHub button, you'll get a window that has every post on iHub that mentions, this symbol. Okay, so that's real handy. You can also go to Stock Twits here. It'll take you to Stock Twits automatically and show you, well, it looks like that's not working. It is working, but not in this browser. You can go to Seeking Alpha. I'm using an older browser, so some of these don't come up. But, I mean, I did get to Seeking Alpha. Most of you guys aren't going to have this problem. And also Twitter, okay? Again, I've got an older browser and it's not showing it. let me put it in a different browser. Okay, so here's Twitter, and now you're going to see all the, if it ever comes up. Okay, so here's all your latest tweets on this stock, okay? So you can very rapidly look at all your social media and articles. You can do DD so fast here, you know, because all you got to do is push a button. And I'm going to show you guys how the scan works. Like right now I'm on the test easy scan. If I go to symbol A, okay, we went through this before. I go to symbol A, that's the top of the database. Now watch what happens when I push the next button. I push the next button, okay, and we go to AMNL. Remember that? Okay, now you got all you're looking at everything AMNL. You know, you got your 200 days over here that you can't see. But anyway, and every time I push the next button, it's going to scan. And here's your second one, COPRF, and all your data is right there in front of you so you can look at it. Okay, I think that covers that. Okay, let's go over this area here. Now, some of this we've already covered, your prev next, your DD, and all that. But let's say I push next, okay, on this scan. Here's your status. It says scanning, then it says found stock, and then it will tell you, it will go out to OTC markets and get the current share structure in real time. Okay, so if it's green like this, it just says ASOS F float updated. If it's changed from what we have, and you look at this stock, it'll say changed, and it'll be red. That means it changed. Okay. So this is IFUS down here. It tells you the Secretary of State is Nevada, that it was a verified profile. I think this is the date it got verified or something. We're not using, this isn't happening that much anymore. But anyway, so here you have your authorized outstanding float. So you got 625 authorized millions. This is in millions. 466 million outstanding, and a 232 million float. And then right below that is your market cap. Now this is all real-time calculated. Like this has an 8.6 million market cap. And then we have some different, they're current, okay. Now I happen to be watching this one. I can uncheck it. Like when you find a stock and you want to watch it, this should update. There, when I reloaded it, now it's no longer watch. But if I check this watch button, okay, it'll indicate that this is a watch stock, okay, and the date that I did it, the date that I watched this. And here it says the current tier level, and it says here was limited on 10/6. So, did this just change today? No. Oh, 10/6/21. So it's been current for a long time. Okay. What else we got? Oh, I'll do this notes later. But here's an interesting thing you can do. It's our totals calculation area. So you can put a from date in here. So let's say, I don't know, September 6th, okay? Let's say you wanted to find out how much this thing has traded since September 6th today. You just push this calc button, okay? So this thing traded $95,000 since then and traded 6.5 million shares, all right? You can also put a date in here, an end date. If you just put this first date in and hit calc, it'll tell you everything from that date to today. But you can put another date in here. Like we can use a from date of, I don't know, say June 1st. Okay, how much did it trade from June 1st to August 1st? Okay. So I want to know how much this thing traded in this date range. And you just hit your calc button. So in that date range, you traded $200,000, traded almost 15 million shares. Now there's some other things where you can refine this. You can look for above or below a price. I won't go into that. It gets a little bit complicated. And I think that's it for this part of it. And then I'm going to go into this note thing in the next part of this. Okay, these are notes. So let's say you're looking at this stock and you wanted to add a note, and the note will show up down here. Every stock, this is because of the screen capture, but anyway, every stock has notes that you can add, okay? So let's say that I'm looking at this stock and I wanted to add a note to it. So I'll just hit this add button and a little window will pop up and it'll say, I don't know, merger coming soon, okay? And you only have 140 characters, so this note has to be relatively short, but it's like the tweets, you know. Now, this note, I can either make this a public note to where everybody can see it, okay, or I can make it a private note, okay. And if I make it private, only I will be able to see this note. But let's add this note, merger coming soon, right? Add public, okay. So we added it public. Now, if you scroll down, every stock has this little area where it keeps track of shares. Like here on 9/28, they added 5 million. They added 5 million shares. Okay, but if you scroll down, let me reload it. Okay, but if you scroll down, see, here's my note. 10/5, merger coming soon. Okay. So, and then there's a little number after it, like number 2. So if I put a number 2 in here and say edit, then I can edit this note or delete it, okay? So I'm just gonna, you know, if I wanted to change this next week, you know, and hit save public, then it'll change it down here, or I can delete the note, okay? Are you sure you want to delete the note? Okay. Alright. Now let's say I wanted to add, let's say I wanted to make a private note, okay? So, okay, the CEO called me and said load the boat, or truck, or whatever you got. Now if I click this add private button, now I'm the only guy that will be able to see this note, okay? And it does show up down here, but you see this little asterisk right here? That means it's a private note. Nobody else can see this note, okay? And it's really handy to jog your memory on, and everybody can add notes, so it's like a collaborative effort. You know, when somebody, you know, you come up on a stock, you know, you scroll down here to the info thing and see if there's any notes on it that somebody else put in before you, okay? And again, this is note number 2, so I'm just going to delete that. Edit and delete note. Okay, this is a real nice thing to have. I wish more people would use it. They're not as many people are putting in notes as they should, really. So now if you scroll down in this little info box, see, it's gone, okay? So that kind of covers these notes. And while we're at it, we might as well go into the this little info box that every stock has. Okay, we keep track of shares changed, okay? Like here on 10/27, they added 27 million, you know, plus 14% to the float. Here they increased your OS. It keeps track. So if a company's really diluting a lot, it'll show up right here. You know, you'll see. And then you compare how much they added since, okay, so here, this is really cool. So let's say they added 12 million here and 5 million there, I wish my phone would shut the fuck up.
Hey.
Jesus fuck. Don't you hate it when people blow up your phone? I'm turning it off. Alright, so here on 8/8 they started, they added 12 million to the OS, and then they added 5 million to the OS. So let's go to your calculation area, type in 8/8, okay, and see if those shares have been eaten up yet. Alright, so since 8/8, you know, they got 12 million here and 5 million here. That's 17 million. How much have they traded? Only 13 million. So I'd be willing to bet that there are shares being diluted as we speak on this stock. Okay. Now, if this had gone to like 30 million or 40 million, then you could assume that these have been eaten up. Okay. But right now they haven't. So this is really, really handy to have. Okay. I don't want to redo this video because I'm on a roll. That's why I left the phone crap in there. Okay, oh, one more thing. You see how it says new cattle feed right here? This is a very, very short summary of the stock. Okay, and you do it again with the note feature. So if I want to say diluting piece of shit, and I say add short sum, okay, when I reload the stock, now it says diluting piece of shit down here, okay, which it probably isn't, so I'm going to change it back. But this is a real quick jog, and a lot of, it gives you a real quick idea of what this stock is. So this is actually new cattle feed. It's a pretty good concept. And then add my short summary. And now when I reload the stock, it says new cattle feed again. Okay, that was a long one. Alright, let's see if it saves. Okay, now that we've gone through all the little parts, let's look at the whole. Now first off, I'd like to push this, let's push this help button right here. Now the help button opens a pop-up, and this is all of our documentation in one place. So at the top we have contact, add me on Telegram, some quick starts. I'm going to link to this video up here, and the latest enhancements, the latest features that we've changed, some basic instructions, Telegram, and we have one-on-one support for new members. You get to talk to me for however long you want. My trading philosophy, just a lot of information in here. A ton of links on, learning about stocks and what have you. It's just insane. You don't really need to read a book. If you go through all these links, you'll know pretty much all there is to know about trading stocks. And quick trading tips. We have a referral program if you want to join up for that. Definitions, what market makers are, some of the bad market makers, some trading rules. And then here you got your AK SPY configuration. These are real-time spies that you can configure here. Tier SPY, share structure SPY, social media SPY. These are all pretty cool little sub-programs. Previous enhancements, I mean, we've done so many changes and improvements over the years. And then, we explain everything, what the factor is, what the drag ratio is, scans and scanning, everything. So that's your help page. And then right here we have a very important button called the T button. And what it does is it gives you a daily quote of the day. If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Milton Berle. That's funny. Alright, so right now this stock we're on TORVF, my baby. And I'm on the test easy scan. So I'm just gonna, I'll go to symbol A, okay? And this symbol stays highlighted, so if you want to go to another stock like NWBO, You just type it and hit enter. Okay. But we're going to symbol A, and I'm going to test easy scan, and I'm going to push next. Oh, and here's your tooltips. You just hover over something and it'll pop up a little tooltip, like what the hell is 10-day $K, and there it explains it right there. Okay. If you want to turn them off, just turn this checkbox off. But everything here has a tooltip on it to tell you what it is. It's really cool. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to turn these off because they interfere. But, so the first stock it stopped at is DPUI on a test easy scan. And the reason for that is she had a 19 factor, okay? She's also coming off a 200-day low. So you see all this right in front of you in one spot. Up 7%. Off her 200-day low, she went up 29 and 49%. She's not really doing a lot of money, trading money. Let's see what iHub Talk has. Let's see what people on iHub are saying about it. So I pushed that iHub button, and now you can see all the messages on DPUI on iHub. Okay. We can push the summary button and read the summary on OTC markets. Okay, commercial print brokerage firm, blah blah blah. Okay, you got all your DD buttons. We went over that. So I don't know about this one. I'm not too excited about it. I don't really like the candle. It's got a really long wick. So I'm just going to go next and look at the next one. Okay. And this one is GRST. This one also has a long wick on the candle. It had a 15 factor. It's coming off a 200-day low. Oh, this one's about drug rehab. There's your quick notes. Oh, let's look at the notes. Okay, so they had an address change on July 26th. No real share structure changes. She's got 10 billion authorized, almost 4 billion outstanding, and 3 billion float right here. A market cap of 2.2 million. So all your information is here, okay? Let's do a next. Oh, she's current. Let's go next and see what the next stock is. MASN, okay, with a 14 factor today. Now this one's looking more interesting. This is a glitch on iHub, the chart. It fixes itself after a little while. This double thing here. RSI 52. Excuse me. Drag ratio 13. Looks like she has a harder time going up than down. Your drag today was 11. The day before was 7.93. And the day before that she was red, -9. So anyway, you get the idea. I just wanted to show you the overview of how this works, okay? Now let's say we found this interesting, so what we could do is we could do a note here. We could do space D space MASN, comma. Okay, click outside the box. Now that note is there and we can go to the next stock. Okay, we got NSAV. Now this one looks more interesting. Looks like we got an uptrend here. 2 days of uptrend. 6 factor made it pop up. Also coming off a 200-day low. But notice that now this says 10.5 MASN. So we could do some more DD on this, find out what it's about. It looks, oh, okay, right here. It's some kind of crypto exchange, okay, on your short summary. All right. Let's put a note in on here to look at it some more. NSAV. Click outside the box, and then the status here, Q notes updated. All right. Okay, I think this is it. This is how you use it. You look at your volume bar here. It looks like just a little bit more sells than buys, but not that much. Your drag ratio is 0.96, which is close to 1. So it's about even as far as, you know, resistance to going up versus resistance to going down. All right. I hope this gives you guys all an idea, and see you on the exchanges. Okay, that's it.